Do you guys know about the windscale fire?
Nope.
You want to know about it? Yes! Great, but before that, let's introduce ourselves first. My name is Adja Fikry Binti Dhany, and my matric number is 153915. I'm a third year medical physics student, and this is my co-partner.
Hi, I'm Fikriyah Mulyadi, and my matric number is 150179. I'm also a third year student from medical physics major. You guys have never heard about this story, right? Let's dive in.
Windscale was constructed on the site of a former military supply factory on the west coast of England in 1947. Rather than explosive, the new facility would be producing a much more dangerous, that was, nuclear material for use in bombs. At the time, it was still a relatively new British nuclear weapons program. Foreign Secretary Ernest Bevin advised the Prime Minister that they had to have nuclear bombs after the Second World War was over, and so windscale was built to produce plutonium and tritium to make Britain a nuclear power. The production process would take place primarily within two structures known as piles, consisted of 2 million kilogram graphite core pierced with channels into which uranium fuels were inserted. Inside the core, the fuel rods would react with one another, producing small amount of plutonium and huge amount of heat. The rods were discharged by pushing them out to the other side, where they fell into skip. From there, they were taken to a service pond, where they were held until most radioactive fission products decayed. There was one major issue, which the rods would simply miss the channel on the other side. They landed with a bump on the floor instead. So what really happened? In the morning of 10th October 1957, a fire broke out at the windscale nuclear facility. The temperature in the reactor was rising. Operators tried to use cooling fans to bring the temperature down, but instead, heat just kept accumulating. At the same time, sensors in the chimney above detected radiation, and workers cited smoke escaping from the chimney. Many fuel rods in the core were broken open and were on fire within the reactor. The fans, rather than cooling the graphite core, were making the problem worse by fanning the flames. Workers then tried to smother the flames with carbon dioxide, but couldn't direct enough of it onto the fire. The temperature was rising up to 100 degrees Celsius. In the end, a rescue move was attempted to shut off the cooling fan, which made the temperature within the reactor tolerable for firefighters, and it appeared to work. The fire shrunk and eventually died. The flames sent vast quantities of radioactive material into the atmosphere. It was and remains the UK's most serious nuclear accident. The Prime Minister at the time, Harold Macmillan, ordered it to be censored since it would make the public to lose confidence in nuclear power. The fire was blamed on an error of judgment by the operators of the pile. It was insisted that most of the radioactive material had blown harmlessly out the sea. But at the time, no resident from the surrounding area was evacuated. The only precaution taken was the disposal of 100 tons of milk, which has been produced in the area. A significant quantity of dangerous materials was released into the atmosphere by the fire, including 740 terabecquerels of iodine-131. Iodine-131 was a particular concern because, despite a very short half-life, it can be absorbed and stored in the thyroid, causing an increased risk of cancer. To date, windscale has been renamed Sellafield, and the site is now dedicated to processing nuclear waste and to decommissioning the leftover from Britain's nuclear weapons program. The decommissioning work takes great care and thoroughness. Even if everything goes to plan, the Nuclear Decommissioning Authority does not expect the site to be fully decommissioned until the year 2144. There are around 1,000 buildings on site, many of which are scheduled to be demolished. Robots are used to survey and to carefully disassemble contaminated structures. Tens of thousands of workers from multiple generations will come and go before the danger of windscale is finally neutralized. That is it from our video.